explicitly having the realization that I have put enough energy equity into going to school, following a system that was advertently and overtly, explicitly used to exploit me from my labor. Did that, played the game, right? Went into corporate, understood that that was the game in itself that no one talked about in school. Corporate semantics, that also should be a course. Nonetheless, did that for about 3 years, realizing that I put enough time in. Given that I put up with some bullshit that I should have never put up with, because work should be work and not high school all over again. And being that as it may, I choose now to not be stressed out about what the fuck is going on. Like, I'm so serious. I realized just watching another TikTok how we're actively working for basic needs to be met now. Talking about food, shelter, X, Y, and Z, water. Except we're paying for water. Excuse me. And I'm realizing that is so true, but trying to bring it back and connecting it to going to school for a degree, right, which is held to some degree at that time, 2018 to 2022, to some higher, degree of, oh, you are a working class citizen, like, implied, right? But also on the surface, like, this is good to have because now you can find a job, X, Y, and Z, but not knowing that you're already, again, playing into a system that was exploiting you for your labor. As if I did not come from working in high school already, went to school, worked in school to learn what I needed to learn, which knowledge should ultimately be free. Again, paid, came out with loans to get a job again. Do you see how fucked up that is? And now thinking at it from a lens of being a 26-year-old, right, who was just trying to make it on their own as a 22-year-old, did a great job. Thank you to the Most High. But also thinking, like, now that it's harder to find said employment, even with a degree and experience, I'm like, what was the whole point of doing that then? What was the whole point of going through that type of experience? It was fun. College was fun, right? But from, like, a stability standpoint, from an access standpoint, from privilege standpoint, what was the whole point of putting myself through that? If that's the case, I'm just like, I understand in life you have to pivot, but understanding that you were actively learning to put my labor on trial or on the stand to be played with. Like, my own individual labor to be on the stand, to be picked from these corporations. And I'm like, oh, this was fun. That was supposed to be fun. And at the time it was stressful. I'm like, this is kind of lends itself to slavery. And I can see why that would lend itself to slavery.